Hey, welcome to All Things Nothing podcast. How's everybody doing on this, today's Monday for me. So this nice Monday sort of afternoon, mid-afternoon. Sun's shining and wind's blowing, so it's not too bad. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know it's been a little bit long since I've recorded an episode here. But yeah, been busy. Had the nice holiday, July 4th over the weekend, and then on this past weekend, it was my son's birthday. So we celebrated that and had a good time, and he just turned 3. So we're moving on and growing up, and it's crazy. So life's just going fast and going crazy. And 3 years ago, I was like scared out of my mind, and now we're here 3 years later and charging away. But yeah, hopefully you guys' weekends and hopefully you guys' weeks have been good. Hopefully you had a good holiday. You're out there, maybe hopefully able to meet up with family and celebrate, blow up some fireworks, have some barbecues, have some good food and whatnot, and sort of enjoy the weather and the break in between everything that's going on outside, really. So it was sort of nice. And let's see, what did I do? Let's see, for the 4th, I went and hung out with family. Did a little of barbecuing and hanging out with family. Went shopping for, let's see, they had like a farmer's market, like a social distancing farmer's market, which was really nice to see. So it was nice to sort of get out and support the local community needs. And there's farmers there, there's meat sellers there, and we were able to buy some grass-fed meat, and they were able to barbecue that night for dinner, which was really good. And we got a little bit of fireworks. I mean, not going crazy, anything like we did back when I was a kid, but enough to make the little one happy and excited. And, he enjoys the show, so that was a lot of fun. And then able to, I did try I did try a Bud Light seltzer. I was getting turned on to that by somebody, and they were telling me how good it is, and I had to go out and find me one, and I did, and it was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. Definitely hard to find singles, though. Really tough to find singles. I mean, unless, I guess I was shopping more at like big retail markets. I mean, not big ones, but like, Ross, Safeway, Fred Meyer, your normal chains that you see. And I wasn't really going to the gas station. So the first one I went to, of course, they had like 1 or 2 flavors, but most retail stores only have the 18-20 pack. I wasn't trying to go for a full 18-20 pack because I don't think, and there's not as many people that enjoy them as I do. Let's see, they're seltzers, so I don't know if you're familiar, but they're like LaCroix, and I didn't like LaCroix. It's like, carbonated water, essentially. Definitely didn't like it a lot growing up, and it took me a while, and then that's kind of like all we had to drink. I mean, we had water, but I was getting tired of water. Not that's a bad thing, but I was getting tired of water, and all my wife had was these LaCroix cans, and I was like, sure, why don't we give them another try? So she doesn't like it refrigerated for some reason, which is super annoying to me. So I put them in the fridge, and when a nice refreshing drink from the fridge, it tasted way better, and I got instantly addicted to them. They're easily one of my favorite drinks to drink, not just because it's a fad, but they're actually tasty, and they're really good. And the same goes now for sort of the alcoholic. Like, then White Claws came, and then, of course, Corona seltzers, and then Bud Light seltzers had to come up with their own kind. I thoroughly enjoy White Claws and Corona seltzers as well. Any sort of seltzer water is delicious. I don't have a problem with it. And they're absolutely delicious. So, not sponsored, by the way. No ad here. # no ad. But those are some of my favorite drinks. I still enjoy a nice beer. But those seltzers are, I mean, if I have a choice of those and a seltzer, I'll probably choose a seltzer. But yeah, I hope, let's see. I think that's it. Had some barbecue, had some this. My son's birthday, we cooked corn dogs and hot dogs. It's pretty easy. I mean, really not seeing, with everything going on with social distancing and COVID happening, not a lot of people are going out and meeting with each other or hanging out, especially with everything going on. And let's see, we just kind of did like a family thing, and that was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable to hang out with family, have a barbecue, and see some people, and eat some good food, and drink some seltzer water. And of course, opening presents, because my son still, he sort of knows how to open presents, but it would take like light years. It would take years upon years of time to open a single present. He rips off like a corner piece at a time. So if you enjoy watching slow present openers, that's a thing for you. Otherwise, I just rip open everything, give it to him, and he's like, "Oh, this is awesome." So, way better. Well, let's get to the news. There's been a lot of news that I haven't covered since everything today took a little bit of a break. But let's see. We had all the Twitch news, the Dr. Disrespect news, the Mixer news shutting down, which was a lot of crazy. Let's see. We had some Ubisoft Forward over the weekend, which we saw a bunch of new news come out from that we'll go over here soon. Let's just go over it right now. We saw, it was leaked Friday, but Far Cry 6 came out with their trailer. Ubisoft, or what they call their Ubi Forward, is essentially a replacement for E3. It's just like a digital showcase that they can pre-record, and it's sort of a replacement for E3, since E3, most big group things are not going to be a thing for the foreseeable future, at least. So Ubi Forward came out with their trailers. Over the weekend, they announced 3 games. They announced Far Cry 6. They announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and they went over Watch Dogs Legion. I think it was they only did like 3-4 games, and that's kind of like what they covered mainly. We got to see the antagonist for Far Cry. If you're a fan of Far Cry, I played 3 and 4. It's kind of the same thing. They're fun games, but they get repetitive very, very quickly. But the story is always really good. I've always enjoyed the story, and I've always enjoyed the gameplay, but once you kind of play one, you've sort of played them all. You always sort of are this lone survivor, or wake up and you're in charge of taking down this huge regime or joining them. You kind of have different choices throughout your thing, and hunting animals is always a thing that you do, though I don't know what they're going to do for Far Cry 6, but I remember in Far Cry 3 that was a huge thing. It's a wilderness thing, and finding animals and harvesting them to upgrade your weapons or upgrade your parts, or any sort of things like that, and different outposts and different things that you can take care of. So Far Cry, always a fun game. They're always a lot of fun, honestly. So it's like an open world whatever game, but those are a lot of fun. Watch Dogs Legions looks really good. That looks really good. It looks like a nice multiplayer, sort of Grand Theft Auto-esque, where it just drops a bunch of people in this world, and you can hack at will, and you can sign people up to your Legion, if you will, and you can pretty much get info on anybody, anywhere, at any time. I played Watch Dogs 1, and it was fun. I just remember all of the hype around it, and then I got it. I think I got it years later for super free. It was either free or it was $5 or something like that, and it was fun. It was definitely fun for a little bit, but it definitely wasn't as revolutionary as they made it out to be upon release. And I didn't play the second one. I heard a lot of good stuff about the second one, but I heard it was sort of more of the same stuff, and it didn't really carry on the story from the first one. It was you start as a new character, and that kind of turns me off. You get the basic concepts, but it's sort of like a linear mission stuff like that. And I get it, they were trying to make it open world, but it wasn't as open world as like Watch Dogs Legions. It sounds like it's going to be. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they announced that. That one looks really good. Assassin's Creed games are always pretty solid games. It did see some comparisons that they're trying to make it sort of Witcher-esque, telling like a huge story, create different combat for different enemies, like especially unique combat for different enemies. So you can never only employ the same tactic against the all the enemies at the same time. You can't just smash the X button and expect to win. You need to build different concepts and recognize different enemies and take those tactics into those enemies. I mean, most games are pretty basic when it comes to that, with the same different iterations of controls, but it's unique. It's cool. It's different. It's definitely different for the Assassin's Creed genre, and Assassin's Creed has always been a solid, fun game. Let's see. So that was for Ubi Forward. They said that they're going to have more, and there's going to be about more stuff coming up here. So I'm really excited for that. That should be a lot of fun here. To see more. I'm a big Rainbow Six Siege player. They have a lot of good stuff to play, and hopefully they'll have more info on that later. Let's see. We get the announcement of Mixer shutting down. I mean, it's the 13th today. They shut down on the 21st, so they only have like 7 more games to go. Or 7 more games. 7 more days until they're officially shut down, and they are officially all transferred over to Facebook Gaming is where they're going. So I think I talked about this on my last podcast, but that's crazy. But it was Windows and Microsoft's biggest project and the biggest thing that they're working on. They were becoming rivals to Twitch, but they just never sort of got the following / as many viewers and as many visitors to the website as Twitch did. Twitch is just sort of it's kind of like Netflix. It's just like Netflix. I feel like will always be there. I mean, Hulu has created itself, and they have different genres because they have TV subscriptions, but I think that that Twitch will always be sort of the number one thing unless something goes down. Absolutely. I mean, not nothing to say that they're going to be there forever, but who knows? There could be things that go down the way or whatnot. But I think that Twitch will always sort of be that leader in the genre. Maybe not the leader per se, because there's definitely Mixer came in with a lot of stuff, but I feel like programming wise, it took them a lot of time. It took them a lot of time to to program stuff. Twitch automatically inserted and had clips and Twitch clips, regardless if you were a partner or affiliate or anything like that. If you just literally plugged it on, I could literally clip something from your stream and go from there. And so, I mean, it's not a huge feature, but when you're playing games on Mixer, I had a buddy playing on Game Mixer, and he'd have some nice plays, or there's some funny stuff happen. It would be cool to be able to clip that last 30 seconds or clip any sort of amount really, and be able to take that and at least tweet it out to your viewers. And unless you were partnered or had an affiliate status, I'm not really sure what the partner status was with Mixer, but I know that was sort of the mainstay things that they had. You weren't able to do that. So, and you had to reach 1,000 views or 1,000 followers. I forgot what the requirements were. But you needed, sort of the bare minimum, at least 3 concurrent subscribers, or not subscribers, but followers or viewers on your stream, and then 1,000 hours watched at least. And so it made sense, they want people to put a little bit of effort in and stream for a little bit before they can get partnered. But the clipping thing needs to be just needs to be given automatically at the beginning. So, yeah, and I mean, nothing wrong with Mixer or what they did. Definitely could have done a lot better jobs, and sort of they made some announcements to do some other cool stuff, and they were able to. But I think that with Twitch's backing with Amazon, really makes them sort of that powerhouse. I mean, there's a ton of people who have Amazon Prime, and then they get a free membership. Once a month, and they can just automatically use that for subscription. And so, like, Twitch is automatically generating money just from that in general, not let alone from just that in general. Like, so many streamers and people. I mean, I've subscribed to my friends who have their sub button just freely and openly with my Amazon Prime membership. And it's just easy to do, and it's just really nice. It's sort of, I don't really have to spend my own money, even though I have already done that essentially for like the entire year, and I can just go from there. But yeah, let's see. There's a lot of big named streamers that left Mixer, but I mean, the biggest ones were Shroud and Ninja, and their sort of futures still sort of hang in the balance. It's been a few weeks since the announcement, but really haven't seen any sort of announcement going forward about who they're going to stream with or where they're going to stream on. We did see, I think it was last week sometime, Ninja just stream on YouTube. It wasn't like he just hopped on and streamed on YouTube for a little bit, which is a lot of fun, but it wasn't like he wasn't partnered with them. There wasn't like an official announcement from like he's with YouTube now. Just like he's just streaming on YouTube, just to stream. So that's sort of like where that comes from. So but we'll see. I mean, we haven't really heard anything from Shroud really, and Ninja hasn't really announced anything. And Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch. And his it was like the Mixer thing came down, and then almost like the same week or a week later, like Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch, and there really hasn't been a reason given on either side, Twitch or Dr. Disrespect's side, about whether what he's been banned for. So we don't know. There's a lot of sort of drama and rumors. There's been rumors galore about why and maybe this or that, but nothing has really ever been. The reason hasn't been specifically discussed by any sort of party. And I don't think we'll know for maybe a little bit, but I know that we'll probably eventually find out. I expect to see Dr. Disrespect return. I don't know where he's going to return. He might even return to Twitch. But we will see. There'll probably be more news reports coming out later. One of the biggest rumors is that Ninja, Shroud, and Dr. Disrespect are possibly launching a streaming platform of their own, being partnered with like the likes of Spotify, which was a big thing. And they're sort of owned by this like Spotify, but it's not under Spotify. It's just a streaming platform, and it's going to be like from them. But there's been rumors that have debunked that theory or that rumor multiple times, but it's just sort of a fun little rumor that neither Ninja or Shroud have announced an official partner to go with, and Dr. Disrespect being banned as well could leave opening there. So we don't know what's going to happen there, but that looks like it could be. I mean, we'll run to more rumors, so we'll see where they go from there. Let's see. Let's change directions. It's because we're talking about bans and Twitch and Mixer, and rumors and drama, which is a lot of fun always. But I think there was a bunch. There's big fights over Saturday. Especially took place on Fight Island, which is crazy. If you don't know what Fight Island was, essentially It's an island in Abu Dhabi, that the UFC bought or partnered with, and it like is, since it's like owned by them, it's their own island to do with whatever, and they make the sanctions there, and so they are their own government essentially, and they can, if they want to, not follow social distancing or other laws, whatnot, it's their own private island to do what they want. So they have created a island there, in an arena where they can fight, and they held their first card there over the weekend, which is a lot of fun. And they had 3 title fights on the card. Let's just go through some of this card, especially the results. Early prelims, you guys will know. Volkan Ozdemir versus Jiri Prochazka. Ozdemir fought for the light heavyweight title and did come up short. And he was a really good fighter and a really good knockout. He essentially was knocking light heavyweights out left and right. He got knocked out in the second round and lost. So that one was a little bit crazy. That's a little bit of upset there. And we'll see what's next for Ozdemir. Let's see. Boom. That's fine. We'll kind of cover the main card. Amanda Ribas versus Paige Van Zant. Paige Van Zant, if you don't know, is a local Pacific Northwesterner. She, I think, resides in Westland, but I don't know. But I know that she's for sure from Oregon. But she fought Amanda Ribas, and I think this was one of her first fights back. She had 3 or 4 canceled bouts before this, last reschedules for breaking her arm or doing other things. So this is her first fight back. Unfortunately, she lost by submission in the first round. And she did talk a lot about her. Paige Van Zant talked a lot about her modeling career, and that she's made more money in the last her entire career with the UFC, just in the last year, from just modeling / having sponsorships. She was on Dancing with the Stars. She said that from Dancing with the Stars alone, that she has made more money altogether than she has in her entire fight career with the UFC. So, which is crazy. Because you're on a show, I mean, it's all pre-recorded, and you can record it within a certain amount of time. With the UFC, you're training, you're putting your body through significant physical punishment, week to week, in training and cutting weight and eating healthy. And I mean, it's more than just eating healthy. It's dieting. It's extremely amount of dieting to make sure that your body stays at tip-top form to fight. But yeah, she looks like this was her last fight on her contract, and it looks like she will test free agency after this. I saw Dana White had made some thing, and the media was tearing it apart, oh, it's good that she should test free agency. It'd be good for her. It was a parting shot. But I just think that Dana White, as a businessman, was just saying, hey, if she should definitely always, just good on the individual for shooting their shot and going and testing free agency. If they want to sign back on, we've got a deal ready to go. But if she wants to test free agency and see what's out there for her, she definitely should. So we'll kind of see what it goes from there. And it's always unique to see when fighters say they're going to test free agency, and especially we haven't really seen it with males at all, but females we see it, especially with the modeling agencies and the allure of being the female and the brand sponsorships and sponsorship deals that they can get for that are very unique opportunities. But I think as far as athletic wise and testing yourself in fighting, I mean, if you want to be done, you can be done too. Because mainly when people start talking about other sorts of stuff like modeling or doing movies or whatnot, they usually are checking out mentally from the fight game, or from just this athletics in general. It's usually just you're thinking about something else, you're focused on something else, and it's totally different. I mean, imagine 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week, you're putting yourself through these physical tests and working out intensely and eating correctly and dieting correctly. I'm not saying that you don't do that for, the modeling or agencies like that, but it's to a lesser extreme, I would think. Maybe not during the off season when you don't have a fight schedule, but when you have a fight schedule, it's go time. But yeah, this should be a unique thing. I wish her luck in her free agency, and we'll see where she lands. And Amanda Rivas, congrats to her. She moves to 10-1, and she's just a beast. She just showed that she was a beast. In the second fight, we had Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. This is Rose's first fight back, I think, since her title loss to Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade did lose the title to I forgot her name, but she did win the title from Rose a few years ago, and it was a really good knockout. She pretty much lifted her up and took her down, and Rose landed on her head and knocked her out, and Jessica won. So this was sort of the rematch to this fight, and we saw Rose go all 3 rounds and win by decision. So congrats to Rose there. And then in the first title fight of the night, we had Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is like a featherweight goat, has been for a very long time. This was his second fight actually, fight at bantamweight, which was a lot of fun. He won his first fight, he lost his first fight actually. So this is his second fight, and then he got a title fight. But it's because Triple C or Henry Cejudo just retired, and they needed to sort of announce champion, and these are the 2 that were ready to fight. But Peter Yan won that fight by KO/TKO in round 5. That was a controversial stoppage. Pretty much, Jose Aldo had already been losing the fight. Peter Yan had already secured the fight, secured the win, and everything like that. And he was just getting pounded on from the top position, and it could have been stopped way earlier for sure. He already lost on the cards. There was no way, even if it went to a decision, there's no way that he was winning. So they should have stopped it earlier. So a lot of controversy from there, but they eventually stopped it, and Peter Yan is the new bantamweight champion. And then the first featherweight, we had a rematch there as well against Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. That went to a 5-round decision as well. We saw Max Holloway actually drop Alexander Volkanovski twice in the first round and the second round. He got him with a head kick in the first round and an uppercut in the second round. Had a very solid third round. And then Alex sort of bounced back in the fourth and fifth round. A lot of people saw this going Max's way, and it was a shoe in the bag. Like, he had three rounds, 2 rounds, and there was a solid 3 rounds. But unfortunately, the judges didn't see that way, and that gave Alexander Volkanovski the decision. So congrats to Alex, but the win does come with its own controversy. It looks like the community was very, very split. Some were saying that was a pure robbery. Others saying that it was not a robbery, but it was a very unfortunate decision. It could have gone either way, really. It just, one round essentially decided it all. And then in the final fight, we saw Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, the current welterweight champion. Kamaru Usman, he was supposed to fight Gilbert Burns on this fight card, but Gilbert Burns last Saturday tested positive for COVID, or last Friday, so he was officially declared uneligible to fight. They contacted Jorge to see if he wanted to fight for this fight card. He was able to pass 3 to 4 COVID-19 tests, pass those in quarantine. He was 192 pounds last Friday, and until Saturday, he cut down all the way to 170 pounds, made the title fight weight, essentially, and then went on and fought 5 rounds against Kamaru Usman. It was a very dominant decision, though, by Kamaru. Congrats to him. Usman is a very dominant champion, albeit very boring, not very exciting fight. A lot of clinching, a lot of wrestling. It sort of took away Masvidal's, weapons and ability to strike and anything like that. And it wasn't really exciting. It was a lot of wrestling and clinching, but Usman dominated all of that, and it was tough for Jorge. So congrats to Usman. He is still the champion, and we'll hopefully see a rematch. I mean, it was a 6-day notice fight. We'll hopefully see Masvidal come back and do that. I mean, it was these one-off sort of like 6 you have 6 days to get ready for a champion. Is like they're fights, but they're not like real fights. It's tough. I'm like, he was training, but he wasn't actually training to fight this guy on 6 days notice. So I hope to see him back here soon. And let's see, next week. We have some fun fights. We have Calvin Kattar fight Dan Ige in the main card. Tim Elliott versus Ryan Benoit. Jimmy Rivera versus Cody Stamann. And those are sort of your big ones. But some smaller names. But I mean, coming off of a 3 title fight, it's definitely worth it. Calvin Kattar, sort of the featherweight dark horse right now. So definitely watch out for him. That about wraps it for this episode of All Things Nothing podcast. I appreciate all of you listening here, and I for sure need to bust out some more episodes for sure. If you have any comments or questions or anything that you want me to talk about or go into or anything like that, I've had some anime requests. I'm attempting to get more anime caught up onto, but I need to. So let's see. Subtitles are rough for me, and I enjoy that they're dubbed. So that's the thing I need to look out for. I have been watching a lot of the Flash episodes, so those have been a lot of fun. Those are kind of what I like. And that's kind of like what I'm grinding on right now, which is the Flash. I think I'm on like the middle of season 2, so those are a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day and a good week, and I hope to be back here actually sooner than later, possibly even tomorrow. Maybe I'll just bust out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like 18 episodes. Watch this. Man, that'd be fun though. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here and all of your suggestions and your retweets and likes and subscribes on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe and for more content here. And